I started probably making more plays and getting more interceptions and picks, and PV just had a lot more plays than I've been having, I think for sure, and it was close to the ball.
He saw the impact immediately, and it was perfect. Where I heard how you broke down his technique, taking from good to elite.
There was an improvement like right after the first week.
Honestly, BK, after like the first week of seeing what you broke down and how you helped them, you're in good hands. BK's got this.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning. Max, when you guys first reached out to me, what were you struggling with the most?
My press technique, I just wanted to clean it up more. Just like knew of like techniques, but I wanted to really get into like the real details of everything, like how each step like matters to game of inches. So that was a big thing I wanted to focus on, and then even just clean up my off and breaks for sure. I think those were biggest things for me.
For sure. And what had you tried before working with Dream University? Was it going to camps, working with local trainers, or copying drills off of social media?
Yeah, I would say a mix of everything. Like in my high school, I had kind of one trainer my sophomore, junior year who like kind of really got me locked in a little bit, at least more that got me to college level. He was good, but he wasn't the best. And then I kind of stopped him though because he was pretty expensive. And then I kind of was doing my own thing because I probably thought I had a decent understanding, but then kind of when I got here, I was like, okay, I feel good, but I feel like there's like another step I can take it. And so, but before you, I was probably just, yeah, doing like looking stuff on social media and like local trainers and teammates and all that.
And why didn't those things work out for you?
But everyone says like on social media, you can't like just some of it is good, but like not everything, and you can't like believe everything everyone says, and you don't know who has credibility and everything on social media.
hmm
So I feel like that's like definitely one thing why it didn't always work out on social media. I never had like someone who actually like it's nice that you played and stuff, and I know how it was, and like you could really nail everything down. So.
Awesome. And yeah, what made you realize you needed help? Like, what was a moment when you decided to reach out?
He honestly popped up on my TikTok, and I was like, but I really saw like the stuff you were doing. I was like, obviously I didn't know you at all, but I was like, it just seemed really detailed, and I was just like, damn, that's something I would like to learn and stuff like that. And I see some of the guys you train are top prospects and guys in the NFL and guys who play in the SEC and 4 and 5 stars. And then I kind of waited because I was just like obviously in season, so I was focusing on myself. But like towards the middle, I was like, wasn't going that great for me, and I was just kind of struggling a little bit. And I was like, well, might as well just reach out and see what he says. So I decided to reach out like mid-season about. So.
For sure. And yeah, just walk me through what it was like working together. Like, what did we focus on first?
First we focus on like breaks and like off man a little bit, just because that was just some of the stuff I showed you, I think, of my film before. And then you kind of just taught me about like the creep step was definitely huge and just like not opening up right away. And then being slower and taking those read steps and things like that, that helped a lot. And I feel like you and myself like also saw that like there was an improvement like right after the first week. So that was nice to see. And then we just got into like more press, and that's kind of what we've been doing the past month is a lot of press and really get into that. And then still continuing though with like breaks and everything. But that's kind of like the concepts I learned.
For sure. And what surprised you most about the coaching?
I think the asynchronous was really helpful. Like I could just really send you any questions I had, like literally any time throughout the week, any day, and you get back to me in a good time. So that was really helpful. Like I just want to see like, oh, what do you think about this rep? What do you think about this step or that play? And like, what can I do better or that situation? So that was really helpful. I think that probably surprised me. That's partly why when I was reading your stuff, I had a feeling that was going to be helpful, but obviously I wasn't sure. So, but that was definitely nice to have.
For sure. And how would you say this was different from some of the other training you've done in the past?
I think it's just different for me just because like I kind of talked about earlier, like you really like nail each step and emphasize how each step is important, and like you're just really detailed, which is like a thing I like is like some coaches be like you just gotta get out of your break faster, but it's like okay, how do you do that? And so you went into like how do I do like the pointer toe dropping your shoulder or like angle it, you know what I mean? And just like a bunch of other things like that. And so you really dove into like the how and the why, and then how do you fix that and like break the bad habits that I had.
Awesome. And was there like a specific moment or session where something just clicked for you? Or was it just you kind of had mentioned before, instantaneous? Or how was that like?
I felt like it was pretty like just instant because like I could just feel it out there, especially with the off man and like the read steps, like the press we kind of learned later on, which I didn't get to. I tried it out a little bit, but like even today, I'm like getting releases with some teammates and starting to implement it more and just try and do it. But like I would say pretty much throughout the whole thing, it was pretty helpful, and I was like, this shit really works. So.
Appreciate that. And yeah, let's talk results now, right? So where are you now compared to week one?
Compared to week one when I started with you, I feel like I'm just definitely more even more confident as a DB and corner and just like in my technique technique, and it's like I get to the line or I get up, get set, and I'm just like ready. I don't care who it is. I know my technique. I know what I gotta do if they do that. So I'm just way more confident. I know exactly what's going on, and I can read the splits more, where they're top or bottom of the numbers, the formations, tendencies, and all that stuff. So
So just technique, football IQ, and just that
yeah,
helps you become confident.
yeah.
Okay, for sure. And how has it shown up for you on the field? Like any big plays?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even after the first week and then throughout, like I started probably making more plays and getting more interceptions and picks and PBUs and things like that. Definitely showed up a lot more, like just had a lot more plays than I've been having, I think for sure. And it was close to the ball a lot
Mhm,
more.
for sure. And now I have a slideshow for you, just so you and your dad can see kind of where we were at before. And I want you to look at the week 1 versus week 8 differences and just narrate like what you see from here. So I'm
Okay.
gonna share my screen. And these were clips that you sent me for your initial evaluation. Ask you what you see. And this will be helpful for Fernando too, because now you get to see some of the differences in how he thinks, but also plays. So these were some of the clips you sent me. And you could just throughout the video, you could just narrate what you see, and I'll just keep it playing.
Yeah, so just be like backpedaling and kind of just like immediately crossing over.
Uh-huh.
Not doing the peer or not doing that, not peer, not doing the creep step and
Uh-huh.
then not and like we're kind of rounding my break too.
Uh-huh.
And
And
so that's
then
like the first one.
yeah, I posted, a good mix of what you sent me, so wins and losses. But yeah, I just want you to see like, really technique differences.
Yeah, here just a fade ball, and then like I kind of didn't. You talk about widening him like with
Right.
your arm to the
Uh-huh.
sideline, and so here I kind of just open him and try to run with him. But if like you talk about getting that hand on and widening him out to the sideline and not creating that space, so he doesn't have any room to catch the ball.
For sure. And I think this is a PBU by you, but let's see some of the differences you see.
Yeah, I just want to break. Definitely could be better. Kind of like rounding it, hopping into it, like from fall stepping. So
False step, yeah, that was a big one.
yeah,
Yeah. Same thing right here, right? False
yeah,
stepping.
yeah. The breaks is a big one.
And this is your press tech from before. You
Yeah, just kind of reaching.
Yeah. The angles too, right?
Yeah,
And then this one I think is just same thing with break, like you mentioned.
yeah,
Same thing here with the false step.
yeah,
Then I put some of your game because this was just a press rep, kind of.
yeah.
What do you see from here with your breaks?
Yeah, just like rounding in fall stepping.
Around, yeah, for sure. And then this one, inside leverage right here. What do you see right here?
Yeah, just like backing up and gave him the inside release too easily, and then just fell
Uh-huh. And then the final here is cover two.
too. I mean, I let him get outside, but I got to hinge more for sure.
Engine was big, yeah.
Yeah,
And then from there, this was kind of more week 8. So talk to me about the differences if
I grip.
drop that pick, but
Yeah,
we need those.
yeah, we do need those.
But
But
hey,
here, I was just slower out of my break, and then I took that kind of creep step before I opened up. I
mhm.
just got out of there, but I think still can improve.
And this one right here,
You talked about that play like in the red zone, like if there's they go to the front or back pylon.
right?
So
Yeah.
like he runs that little like whip out, and then you say if there's something like in front of you, there's something behind you, and so I felt that corner kind of coming behind me, and I saw that quarterback kind of throw it to that corner, and so I just came off my guy and then picked it off.
Right. And we've seen this play like so many times they ran it, right? Throughout
Yeah.
the week. So yeah. That's a good job on you for recognizing it for sure. Yeah.
Here, yeah, just weaving with him, and then just trying to stay more square, and then get the hands on.
Uh-huh.
And this is like cover three, and you talk about that mid pointing,
Uh-huh.
and then just get that pick off that seam and make those plays on cover three because some guys don't. And here you talk about the receiver being top of the numbers, so that's a tendency for outside breaking routes. And then so just sit on it and kind of just anticipate that, but obviously don't guess, but
Mhm.
even that out and then break on it. Here, just press and just trying to get more hands on and widen him out.
Square two in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I think this is the last one right here.
Yeah, just my defense jumped off sides, but got to play anyways through, and so just keep winding him through the sideline so he had no room to catch.
Right. Because he was all the way to the sideline now. So that was a
Yeah,
great job by you.
Yeah.
Then just like some specific technique that we fix is if you see a difference of how composed you are now and balanced, even in your peer, and these are some videos you sent me for the from the written plan.
Yeah.
Like your step replaces were a lot cleaner, great angles, great job using the rocket. I just wanted to point that out. That's why I put it. And Fernando, look at him. Look at how he's grinding in the rain too,
Yeah, I
just to
like
get
it.
better. Yeah. That's one thing about Max is, hard worker, right? So
Yeah.
shout out to him for that. Here.
Share
But
that.
this was our last, week 8 us doing this on
Good,
Shield.
good. Keep going, keep going. Here.
And he just
Good, good. Here,
and the step replaces were good.
here, here, here. Get up.
And then even his patience was just a lot better. And like he said, we started doing press around like week 5 to 6 to the end of our 8 weeks. But he's
Yep.
already looked so much better from like the week 1. And then this is his break. So you saw he like fall stepped a lot. His angles were rounded. But I was very impressed with our week 8 with him doing this. Like honestly, this is probably one of the best clinic tapes of breaks I've seen. If you see him right here,
Get up. Get up. Break.
like
Perfect break.
the ground was elite right there.
Break. Good, good. I love the game ground again. So,
Just one more.
settle. Get up. Settle.
Even his palate
Yeah.
was good too.
Break.
And then the front shoulder lean
Good.
in. So like I was very impressed with Max on this. And the final part just football
What do you do
IQ.
best? Same thing as the other rep.
Just open that.
Straight open the gate, right? Why are we pressing? You might as well stand next to him. Sideways.
That's what I've noticed, just like really getting like all we did, kind of just rely on their like
Speed.
I guess athleticism, but like it would never work if they got to a bit higher level.
Like he just
Right.
recognized
This
this
is territory for him
easily.
to run digs a lot.
This is on the group call.
Just see what he does.
Our weekly group calls.
Okay.
Dig, right? Y'all see that? That's what could the DB have done better, guys? Obviously, it was a PBU, but Austin.
Like Max is the first one to say false step. Like his football IQ is just,
ground.
he's seeing things clearly now, which is something that I wanted to point out.
Austin.
No, he rounded it. Like he could
Yeah, he
have,
did
like he rounded it.
rounded false step. I think Noah said giving ground. Max, this is something we talked about a lot.
But he messed up though because he let him get outside.
Yeah. If he does, which is fine, he got to continue to reroute him. And then what does he got to do after in cover 2 after you let him get past here?
One thing,
So he messed off by hinging because that was what came up in his game. So now he's just
Right,
his
yeah.
football
He
IQ
think
just
it-
overall. That I just want to share that to show Fernando as well. I was impressed with his development.
Okay.
And just the final questions I have for Max and Fernando. Just first one, if another athlete was on the fence about joining Dreamversity, what would you tell them?
I would tell them it's for sure like worth it. Like I know, like for me, like I liked what I saw before, but I was a little nervous just because like it's virtual and I didn't know how it was gonna go. Obviously, it's better to be in person, but you convinced me, and so I think, and just after this whole past 8 weeks, I would definitely tell him like it's worth it. Like he really teaches you, like he's a real technician in that sense, and like knows the details of the game, and he's young, so he can relate to us, and he's also played, so he gets the whole life of football and how that works and coaches and stuff like that. And so he won't just be a coach, but he'll also like be there for you if you need anything. And like I would definitely recommend it for anyone who asked for sure.
And this is something like even like your college teammates, like would you recommend this to your teammates too?
For sure. I mean, not calling them out, but some of them I don't like their technique. So I would or who could better up their technique, I would definitely recommend them or
And you
recommend
played Division 1 football too at the highest level. So anyway, yeah, for sure.
For
The
sure.
final question for Max is what would you say to parents who are considering this for their son?
I think you can really trust him. Like he's not gonna bullshit you. He'll really like do what he says and he'll work with your son or whoever. Like he's gonna tell you the truth and how it's gonna be and he's gonna give his best effort. Like he's not gonna like flake or anything like that. So he's the truth.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And just last questions to Fernando. What made you decide to invest in Dream University for Max?
Yeah, I think Max was struggling with actually his position coach in college. The communication, there's a breakdown in the communication. And I think it's a good lesson to learn for all, athletes that sometimes you got to develop a rhythm and a communication with your DB coach or your position coach. And if that doesn't happen naturally or you're not getting what you want, I think that's where Max was struggling, was he was getting some general feedback from his coach and not really getting prescriptive with him. And, so we would look at film, and overall, I thought he was doing well in camp, but, he was losing ground to some other players, and it was kind of confusing. And without getting any specific feedback from his actual coach, it was confusing for him as an athlete. So I wanted him to get another resource, another eyes on his film, and just critique him and give him some, real life feedback that he wasn't getting from his coach. And I think you're going to see that situation a lot in college. A lot of time's going to be spent on the ones, and, twos are going to be left out until they get up there, So I think I was wanting him to get second eyes on it. We were looking at other options. We were looking at guys here local, his old DB coach in high school, but he researched you online and he liked some of your film that he was seeing. Then we had a talk, and, I liked what you said on our initial meeting. And then, I think we found out immediately, like, your feedback. And for me, that was perfect. When I heard how you broke down his technique from week one and got really prescriptive on foot angles and cuts and all that stuff, and how to shave off those split seconds that will take him from good to elite. And that's what he wants. He wants to be an elite corner, and he wants to work on it. And it's those small little tweaks that you got prescriptive with, like in telling him about the angles and shoulders and pad levels and all that stuff. And, specific with the steps and all that stuff that he wasn't getting with his position coach in school. So I think he immediately felt the impact during his rep, and it showed. I think he was, went from being really confident and relying on what you were teaching him to being confident on his breaks, making more plays on the ball, and just being closer. So overall, he saw the impact immediately and felt really good. And then he said that your field work sessions, virtual field work sessions were rough, and which was good to hear, because I was like, how do you do that? And I think he called me up after your last one, and he was dying. He was like, man, that one was rough. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, BK was working me hard. He's like, if I didn't do it right, he was on me. So that was good to hear, because I always feel like in person, it's beneficial. I do wish you were here, because I think he watches some of your film and you going as a wide receiver. And he's like, man, I would love to work with him, because he's shifty, and, I could definitely get better going against him live. But I was surprised to hear how well the virtual field sessions went too as well. So I think overall, like, it accomplished what we were looking for. We were looking for feedback. We're looking for a coach to get really prescriptive on the technique. And then again, like, even the hard work on the field and everything. So I think overall, it was just a really successful 8 weeks. So I was pretty happy as a parent, and just listening to Max and his feedback, and just, even bouncing off ideas with you. And, like he said, I think he feels you more as a mentor and stuff, and bounces ideas and situations that he's gone through the season. So I think just overall, it was a good situation.
I appreciate that. And, last few questions. I know you kind of answered these, but what were some of like the biggest concerns before joining? And like, how do you feel about the investment now?
Yeah, I think the biggest concern was virtual, and stuff, and just how is he going to benefit from that, but I think, like I said, immediately after your first session, when he sent you some film and how you broke it down, like, I didn't know you would get in depth. Like, you obviously spend the time to go through every rep on your own and dissect his techniques and spend time in what you want to go over with him. I was wondering, like, how that would go, like, if it was going to be like really too general and just non-specific, but you really did spend the time to look at each rep that he sent you, and you guys broke it down to the point where he understood what you were looking for. So I think that overcame my concern about it being remotely, just realizing how technical you got and how much time you spent looking at his film. So I think that really helped. And, I think honestly, BK, after like the first week of seeing what you broke down and how you helped him, I stopped watching the film and stuff, and just, because I would watch it with him and kind of break it down with him. After your first session with him, I stopped watching and stopped giving him feedback. I'm like, all right, dude, you're in good hands. BK's got this. So I really appreciate that, because before I was watching his film with him and breaking it down and all that stuff. And obviously I didn't play corner, so it was a little hard for me to get prescriptive with him. But like, when I heard the first feedbacks that you're giving him, it was spot on. And I would explain it to him, like, I could see it, and the way you explained it, it really broke it down where he was all over it. And again, it kind of took a lot of pressure off me as a parent and trusted in you and let it go.
For sure. I appreciate that. And just final question is, would you recommend this to other parents and why?
Yeah, absolutely, BK. I mean, 100%. Like I said, there's a lot of coaches out there. You see a lot of the same drills and all that stuff. And I see a lot on social media and I look at the kids doing it. You know, you can all do the same drills, but every kid does it differently. But a lot of the coaches just let him go. And you can obviously see, like, dude, his feet are bad right there. You know, his angles are wrong. He's going up and down on his back. You know, so they're not giving him that prescriptive feedback. And for me, it's the prescriptive feedback. Max has a really solid foundation as an athlete, just overall. But what he needed was to get his game to the next level and someone who's going to get really prescriptive on the technique and stuff. And I think that's what you did. So super. I would definitely recommend you 100% because you get really specific and really prescriptive with each individual player.
Awesome. You know, I just want to say I really appreciate you guys for that. This is just super helpful for other athletes who are, you know, trying to figure out if this is the right fit for them. So, you know, I appreciate this and I appreciate both of you guys being, you know, invested and dedicated to getting better. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.